I'm just absolutely thrilled to be here today. Dr. Paul is somebody that I've watched for the past 26 years. And I've always admired the principled stands that he takes in Congress, often on the side of a 400 some odd to 1 vote. Many times the other person on the side of it with it, Mark Sanford, casting the vote, trying to hold the line for liberty, hold the line on spending. So I got inducted into Dr. Paul very early. I want to call attention to my wife and my daughters that are here this evening. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but if they please stand up, turn around and wave at these guys. These guys, at the end of the day, this isn't about Tom Davis, it's not even about Ron Paul. It's about the ideas that he stands for. It's about the ideas that our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence stand for. It's about this notion that government stands to secure the blessings of liberty. Government stands for the proposition that we're going to protect freedom, we're going to protect life, liberty, and allow the pursuit of happiness, and we're not going to have government solve all our problems. We're not going to turn over all responsibilities to government. We're not going to turn over our dollars to government. And it's a tragedy that in the year 2012 we have to say something like that as if it were a revelation. As if we don't know in our DNA that that's who we are as Americans. That our country was founded upon these unique principles. Not aristocracies, not divine rule of kings. The power comes from the people, and it gives power to the government, and that's all. One of the nice things about being in South Carolina every 4 years is you get to meet candidates firsthand. And I've had that chance. I've had the chance to have dinner with Governor Huntsman. He's a fine man. I've had the chance to introduce Newt Gingrich and Rick Perry, Rick Santorum, Michelle Bachmann, all these individuals are my constituents. And at the end of the day, when I sat down, I realized there are a lot of good people running for this race, but there's only one person speaking to what I believe is the core problem in our country today. You can talk a lot about national defense, you can talk a lot about other problems, but the biggest threat to our liberty comes from debt. James Madison, John Adams, they all recognize that. You can have tyranny either by the sword or through debt. And the $15 trillion of debt, we are having tyranny through bankruptcy in this country. And there is only one candidate that is talking about this problem to the degree, at the scale, and with the scope that it needs to be talked about. You can't nibble around the edges anymore. We can't just go ahead and have good enough. We can't go ahead and have incremental steps. Incremental steps have grown our deficit to now over $2 trillion a year. It's grown our national debt to over $15 trillion a year. We need drastic, radical return to the principles this country was founded upon. And if you look at Dr. Paul, and if you look at the lonely battle that he's fought up there in Washington, D.C., and if you look at the courage that he has shown, and if you looked at the withstanding of the pressure that I know he's under, because I feel it in Columbia. I feel it in Columbia all the time. Corporations are out there with their lobbyists, and they want handouts, they want subsidies, they want loopholes, they want grants, they want special treatment, they want crony capitalism, and it is rotting out our republic from the very core. That's what's happening in South Carolina. Let me give you a microcosm of the problem just in South Carolina. In 1998, we gave away $34 million in special grants and subsidies to corporations. Last year was over $1 billion we gave away to corporations. And during that time that we have seen state welfare increase to corporations, our per capita income has plummeted. There is a direct correlation to the degree of freedom society has and its degree of prosperity. And we have been on the slide in South Carolina. We have been on the slide in the United States of America. I want to make South Carolina the freest state in the nation, and I want the United States to be the freest country. makes this nation unique. You know about the Freedom Index that's been sliding. We know about the taxes that are rising higher and higher, and the corporate loopholes, the Solyndra scandals. And guess what? It's not just the Democrats, guys. It's the Republicans that have to feed the trough up there, too. Everybody. I love the idea of phasing out this income tax code that is about that tall and is riddled with exceptions and corporate favors. We have to phase it out. Dr. Paul will do that. That's a huge reason why I'm supporting him for President of the United States. We need radical surgery, not national. We need to go ahead and eliminate energy, HUD, commerce, interior, education. They are not doing anything in Washington, D.C. that we can do. I was talking to Dr. Paul backstage there, and I shared with him that the past 4 or 5 years, I've developed an obsession with the Austrian School of Economics, with Mises, with Hayek. The School of Milton Friedman, and he's okay too. We need to get back to the free market. We need to get back where the way you get ahead in this country is by having an idea, taking your money, working hard, and then reaping the benefits of your labor. Not by hiring a lobbyist and getting yourself a loophole. That is not America. And talking about the Federal Reserve, and talking about quantitative easing, and talking about monetary policy, and talking about how it devalues our dollar, and talking about that Keynesian pumping in our economy, he has brought to the forefront ideas that 5 or 6 years ago people have no idea what you were talking about. Now everybody in this field talking about it. We have Dr. Ron Paul to thank for that. I've only been in politics, I've only been a senator for 3 years. Before that, I was the chief of staff for a governor. The highest honor I've ever had in public life is this evening. A man that I've looked at and admired for a tremendously long time, whose books I've read, whose video clips I've watched avidly as my daughter watches Glee. A man that I admire, the champion of the Constitution, the defender of free markets, and the next